Hi Internet, this is something a little different. You see here a British-style cryptic crossword. Most of what I've done on the channel so far have been American crossword puzzles from the New York Times and other sites. British cryptic crosswords are a little bit different. Most everything actually I've learned about cryptic crosswords has been from a YouTube channel called Cracking the Cryptic, run by Mark Goodliff and Simon Anthony. I'll include a link in the description. They have a series of videos on Friday. They do mostly sudokus, but they do some cryptic crossword content. On Fridays, they have a master class where they will go through a puzzle and give tips and tricks and teach the conventions of the puzzle. They also have a lot of cryptic crossword content for their Patreon subscribers, of which I am one, so I enjoy watching those as well. So that has gotten me interested in cryptic crosswords. Periodically, I'll Google easy or beginner cryptic crosswords. I'll find a short puzzle like this and I will try and figure out the clues. I've gotten to the point where I can usually get one or two without any hints, and then I'll have to give up. I'll hit reveal, get the answers to the puzzle, and then kind of reverse engineer them to try and figure out the wordplay behind the hint. And that's kind of how I've been applying the lessons I've learned from Cracking the Cryptic. This is a puzzle that you see on the screen. I did this the day before yesterday. I was doing it on my phone, doing the same thing as usual, just trying to figure out the clues, putting them in, and then I expected to give up and hit reveal. But much to my surprise and amazement, I ended up solving the puzzle with no hints. They were all correct. So if for nothing else, but for my own enjoyment, I wanted to do a walkthrough of how I solved this puzzle so that at least I will have a record of this modest intellectual achievement of solving my first cryptic crossword without hints. Now, I am aware, of course, that this is a very easy cryptic crossword. It's a very small grid. The clues are very easy to figure out, and it is geared toward beginners. So this is, as I say, a modest intellectual achievement. But let's talk about cryptic crosswords and how they differ from American crosswords. The first thing to note, or that I notice, is that in American-style crosswords, I think this is true, every single square belongs to at least two clued answers. That's not true in British-style crosswords. There are crossing letters which are helpful, and we'll see how some of these crossing letters were helpful to me in solving this puzzle. But there are also other conventions that are very difficult for someone who's used to American crosswords to figure out. So let's walk through that. So you see sort, avets, post. That is virtually meaningless to me as an American crossword puzzle solver. But the way cryptic clues work are they are divided into two parts. You just don't know which part is which. So either the first word or the first couple of words or the last word or the last couple of words will be the synonym that is the answer to the clue. The other half of the clue will be some sort of word play involving anagrams, sometimes homophones, dropped letters, synonyms, other various conventions to help you figure out and confirm that you've got the synonym correct. And so let's look at this first one as an example and see how that plays out here. So I thought the synonym could either be sort or post. So I started thinking of 5-letter synonyms for sort or post. I didn't have any really in mind. So thinking about which part of the clue might be the word play, I came up with sort avets. And sort, I think, is an anagram indicator here, which is a common thing you see in cryptic crossword clues, or at least according to the ones I've seen Simon and Mark solve, it's very common. And if you sort the letters of A-V-E-T-S, avets, and rearrange them to form an anagram, and you can come up with another 5-letter word that is a synonym for post. So it took me roughly a minute or so to figure this out, but eventually I came up with that was the way to solve the clue, and that stave could be a synonym for post, and to make stave you can rearrange A-V-E-T-S to S-T-A-V-E, and that gives us stave. So I was fairly confident about that. That was the first one I got. Then I looked at 5 across. This one was much easier for me because the first part of the clue, the greatest boxer, immediately made me think of Muhammad Ali. And so then I tried to justify that with the word play in the second part of the clue, and that was also fairly easy. A is simply represented by the word A, represents the letter A. L is an abbreviation for large, and I is a Roman numeral 1. So we have A-L-I, a large 1. That is the greatest boxer Ali, and that's the answer to the clue. Now, Simon will be the first to tell you that you can't just abbreviate words willy-nilly by picking the first letter. It has to be justified by the dictionary. So he will pull up Chambers, an electronic version of Chambers Dictionary, and actually go through and try and find where L is listed in the dictionary as a valid abbreviation for large. I didn't do that here. I just happen to know that it is. If you'd buy a shirt, for example, and it said L on it, you would know that that means large. So I think 6 across I looked at briefly. I could not figure out the wordplay at all, but looking at which part of the clue might be the definition, I picked up that obscure meaning might be cryptic, and I liked that because it might be a little inside joke that because this is a cryptic crossword and designed for beginners, that the creator might include cryptic as an answer. So I kind of had that in my mind, but I did not fill it in because I could not justify it with the wordplay. 9 across, I briefly thought about aid as a synonym for give money. Couldn't make that work. 10 across, I got nowhere. And so I looked at the downs, 3 down, and this is where having some crossing letters already in helped me out immensely. Orient, easily, but with time for second half. So orient, and since I have EA in there, I immediately thought east could be the synonym for orient, as it turned out being. But how could I justify that? And the rest of it took me a while to figure out. But if we take the word easily and the time for second half, we're going to divide the word easily in half, EAS and ILY. We're going to replace the second half with T, which is an abbreviation for time. So that gives us EAS and T, which is east, and that is the synonym for orient. So that was, it took me a while, but eventually I got it. 4 down was much easier because initially I know is often an indicator that you just take the initials, the first letters of a series of words. So I just looked at the first letters of these words. Zeppelins include no cast, ZINC, and that is a synonym for metal. So that was pretty easy to figure out. And that gave me a lot of confidence that 6 across was going to end up being cryptic. So I think I looked at 6 down and 7 down, but didn't get anywhere with them. But 8 down, thinking already that it almost certainly began with I. So the clue is distance from mountain chain. So I thought of a 4-letter word that begins with I that could be a synonym for either distance or chain or perhaps mountain chain. Eventually I came up with inch. And how can I justify that? This is, I don't know what type of clue this is called, but the letters in inch, INCH, are embedded in that string in the phrase mountain chain. It's kind of like a word search, I guess. So distance is inch. From the words mountain chain, we have to find INCH in a row, which they are, the last 2 letters of mountain and the first 2 words of chain, or 2 letters of chain, and that gives us inch, which is a distance. So then 6 across, I was confident it was cryptic. I still had to figure out the wordplay, and eventually I did. So weep could be a synonym for cry. Piano in a music score is abbreviated as P for soft. And then tic, T-I-C, is a spasm. So reading the clue, we have cry next to P before tic produces cryptic, which is an obscure meaning. So that was that one. 7 down was the next one I got. And I don't know what this type of, I think it's called a double definition clue, where there isn't wordplay. It is simply that both parts of the clue are the definition. So 2-2 means we're looking for two-letter words. And eventually I came up with yo-yo, where yo-yo is a synonym for toy and a synonym for bozo. And I was pretty confident with that. I don't know if I'm justifying it correctly, but that's how I got that. And then I looked at 9 across next, knowing that it wasn't going to be aid. So I was thinking of another 3-letter word for money, and then a word for bark that could be spelled backwards. And I came up with yap. You spell that backwards, Y-A-P, and you get pay, which is to give money to someone. 6 down, now that I had that C and P in there, I thought it was going to be cape as a synonym for cloak, and I could see hat could be cap. So I got the first part fairly easy. I couldn't figure out how we were going to get that E, and I didn't know what fifth was referring to in the clue, and eventually I realized that E is the fifth letter of the English alphabet, and so that gives us fifth E next to cap as hat, and put that together, you get cloak or cape, which is a type of cloak. So 10 across. This one took me a while to figure out. And this is where we have to spread the letters apart and insert another letter. So looking at different porridge cereals, different types of grain that you could use to make porridge, eventually I came up with oats as a synonym for porridge cereals. And I already thought, based on the word hot, I knew hot could be abbreviated as H, maybe on a water faucet, for example. So the way this works is we have oats, the word oats, O-A-T-S, that is porridge cereals, but it is including or possessing the letter H as an abbreviation for hot. So you take oats, include an H in the middle there where I've got it, and that gives us oaths, which is a synonym for promises. So that is how that works. 2 down. Once I had T and R at the beginning, this didn't take me very long. So draw could be a synonym for tie, T-I-E. R is a valid abbreviation for right. And level is a tier. So that's what that is. And that was the answer. I was absolutely stunned when I solved it and got this little pop-up message that I'd gotten it right. So full credit to Phil Preen, who created this puzzle and other puzzles. He's also done many sudokus. He has been featured on Cracking the Cryptic. I checked. And this was a delightful introduction to cryptic clues. You can see he gives explanations here behind my head for all the clues. More credit goes to Simon and Mark from Cracking the Cryptic, where I've learned how to do these puzzles, or at least how to think about them in a different way than American crosswords. So I will include links to both Phil Preen's puzzle site and to Cracking the Cryptic in the description down below. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.